After years of financially supporting my parents and sister since I was 19, despite their constant ridicule of my streaming career, I finally cut them off when a secret video surfaced of my own family mocking me online to thousands of viewers, unveiling just how little they valued me beyond being their personal ATM. The taunt still echoed in my memory. What kind of fools actually pay him? My professional path, summarily dismissed by my father. There will be no more transfers. I pressed send. 6 months later, my sister reached out. I never imagined I would be the architect of our family's fracture. The unraveling began subtly, a faint fissure, then another, until everything we had constructed lay in fragments around me. I am 27 now, and I have provided financial sustenance for my family since turning 19. A fact, I should add, they rarely, if ever, genuinely acknowledged, particularly my father. The morning everything changed unfolded like any other. Sunlight seeped through partially closed blinds, the low thrum of my computer fans a constant companion, punctuated by the soft chime of overnight donation alerts. My ascent to success often felt like an elaborate dream. 5 million followers across various platforms, lucrative sponsorship agreements with major technology firms, a comfortable city apartment, all forged from playing video games and cultivating a connection with an audience who, for some inexplicable reason, found me engaging. My father, predictably, labeled it playing make-believe for a living, a juvenile pursuit, far from actual work. I glanced at my phone. 3 missed calls from my mother, a message from my sister, Kelly, inquiring about the month's forthcoming funds. Nothing out of the ordinary, yet my stomach tightened, a familiar clench of being valued solely for my contributions, never for my identity. I pushed the feeling aside, immersing myself in my morning routine, coffee, correspondence, content planning, the rhythm of my true existence, the one they steadfastly refused to comprehend. A new notification fractured my concentration, a message from Henry, my longest-standing viewer and now moderator. You need to see this now. A link followed. My heart seized as I clicked it. What calamity had struck? A channel strike? A platform controversy? The usual anxieties of a digital creator flitted through my mind. Nothing, however, prepared me for the images that materialized on my screen. My father's voice, first booming and disparaging. He just sits there playing video games all day like a little kid, and people actually pay him? What kind of dimwits squander money watching someone else game? The camera then moved, revealing my mother's kitchen, our family home. Kelly, my sister, appeared to be filming discreetly from the entryway. My father sat at the table with my mother, both chuckling. At least he's useful for something, my father continued. His little internet pastime covers our expenses. My mother playfully tapped his arm. Greg, stop it. He works diligently. But her smile, I noticed, never quite reached her eyes when she spoke of me. My sister's voice from behind the lens. Dad, tell us again about how Henry believes he has a real career. More laughter. My father then caricatured me, hunching his shoulders, miming frantic mouse clicks, producing exaggerated, childlike sound effects. Look at me, I'm a professional gamer, so important. Meanwhile, I've never genuinely earned a day's pay in my life. The video unfolded for 3 agonizing minutes, each second searing into my consciousness like acid. The very family I had sustained, both financially and emotionally, was openly ridiculing the precise endeavor that afforded them their comfortable existence. The video had amassed 30,000 views, uploaded by Kelly to her modest social media profile with a caption, "When your brother thinks streaming is a career." My hands trembled, blood surged in my ears. Then, a peculiar tranquility descended upon me, like a shroud. 8 years of unwavering support, 8 years of consistent monthly transfers, covering my parents' mortgage, funding Kelly's university education, emergency medical bills, new vehicles, family holidays, all while silently enduring their thinly disguised contempt for my chosen profession. I had always suspected, deep down, their true sentiments. But to witness it so brazenly displayed, broadcast publicly for strangers to scorn, something within me fractured beyond repair. My phone vibrated again. My mother. Henry, darling, when can we anticipate this month's transfer? Your father and I are organizing that Alaskan cruise we discussed. The cruise they had mentioned once in passing, the one I had never consented to finance. The audacious presumption cut through me like a sharp blade. I placed the phone down, allowing it to buzz into silence. What had I become to them all these years? A breathing cash machine, a resource to be exploited whenever necessary, all while being derided behind closed doors and now, evidently, in full public view. A fundamental change took hold within me, a resolve hardening like ice in my veins. No more. I opened my banking application, gazing at the shared emergency account I had established for family necessities. $87,000. My funds, every last penny. I transferred it all to my personal account. Then, I composed a concise email, attached the video link, and added a single sentence. There will be no further transfers. Ever. I pressed send, deactivated notifications, and walked to my balcony, standing in the morning air, inhaling deeply, as if emerging from deep waters for the first time in years. I felt something akin to peace. The tempest, of course, was inevitable. I understood that. Yet, in this moment of clarity, I finally grasped what had eluded me for so long. I did not require their endorsement. I never had. They required my financial provision, not the reverse. This realization infused me with a strange, profound strength. My phone erupted with alerts moments after the email, calls, messages, voicemails. I disregarded them all. Instead, I streamed that evening as planned, smiling, engaging with my community, uttering no word of the familial turmoil unfolding in my inbox. This sphere of my existence was exclusively mine. They held no place within it any longer. 3 days unfolded in this peculiar suspension. I blocked their numbers after the initial day, altered my email, and instructed building security to deny them access should they appear. On the 4th day, the intercom buzzed, insistent, agitated. Your father is here. He seems quite distressed. Should I? My heart pounded against my ribs, a primal flight instinct surging. But I was done fleeing. Yes. Send him up. The minutes awaiting his arrival stretched interminably, each beat of my heart a countdown, blood roaring in my ears. The knock came, 3 forceful raps that seemed to reverberate through the doorframe. When I opened it, my father stood there, face flushed with a familiar wrath, the exact expression I had witnessed 1,000 times throughout my upbringing, the one that had once made me recoil. What in God's name do you think you're doing? He pushed past me into the apartment without awaiting permission. I closed the door softly, deliberately. Hello to you too, Dad. He spun to face me, jabbing a finger towards my chest. Don't get clever with me. What is this ridiculousness about cutting us off? Your mother is distraught. I saw the video. His expression flickered, confusion, then recognition, then dismissiveness. That was simply a jest. Kelly was just having some fun, you know how she is. My chest tightened. His casual dismissal of it made something deeper within me crack. A jest, I see. My voice sounded foreign even to myself, too composed. And the 30,000 people who viewed it, were they also in on the joke? He waved his hand dismissively. Don't be so hypersensitive. This is the problem with your generation. Everything is an affront. Everything is a trauma. You ridiculed my career, my life choices, the very thing that has sustained your household for 8 years. Oh, come on, he scoffed. You sit at home playing video games. It's hardly a profession. I am among the top earners in my field. I have cultivated a business that supports not only myself, but an entire family that offers nothing in return. His face darkened. We are your family. That is how families operate. You support one another. Support is a two-way street, Dad. When have you ever truly supported me? He faltered for a moment, just long enough to expose the truth. We provided a roof over your head for 18 years. I laughed, unable to suppress it. The bare minimum mandated by law. And I have been repaying that basic parental obligation tenfold since I moved out. So, what now? You're too grand for us? You believe you no longer require family now that you have all your internet friends. The scorn in his tone when he uttered internet friends struck a familiar chord. But this time, instead of shame, I felt fury crystallize within me. Those internet friends have demonstrated more respect and encouragement than you ever have. His eyes narrowed. So, that's it? You're choosing them over your actual family? I am choosing myself for the first time. He stared at me as if I had suddenly begun speaking an alien tongue. The concept appeared utterly foreign to him. What about the cruise your mother was planning? We've already paid the deposit. The sheer audacity momentarily stole my breath. Not my concern. Not your, he spluttered. We are your parents. And I am your son, not your personal bank. We stood there in the ensuing silence, 2 men bound by blood who suddenly recognized they were strangers. His expression shifted, a calculation occurring behind his eyes, anger transforming into something more tactical. Your mother will be devastated. Is that truly what you desire? To break her heart? The guilt trip, his most potent weapon throughout my childhood. But it now rebounded off me, unable to find purchase. Mom will be perfectly fine once she realizes she must budget like any other person. And Kelly? What about her tuition for next semester? Kelly is 24, with a completed undergraduate degree. If she wishes to pursue a master's, she can obtain student loans, like everyone else. His composure fractured further, desperation seeping through. You cannot simply cut us off. We have bills, expenses. So does everyone. Get a job. The words hung between us, simple, direct, and utterly demolishing the dynamic we had maintained for years. My father's face contorted. "You ungrateful little. After everything we've done for you. What, precisely, have you done for me, Dad? Name one thing in the last 8 years." He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. Nothing emerged. In that silence lay the unvarnished truth of our relationship, crystal clear for the first time. "I believe you should leave now." "This is not over," he hissed, moving towards the door. "You will regret this. Family is everything.
No.
Self-respect is everything. I only wish I had learned that sooner." The door slammed behind him with enough force to rattle the frame. I stood motionless in the sudden quiet of my apartment, awaiting the crushing wave of guilt. It never came. Instead, a peculiar lightness filled my chest, as if a great weight had been lifted after years of crushing pressure. I walked to my computer, sat down, and gazed at the streaming setup that had constructed my life, the very life they had so thoroughly scorned. For the first time, I felt no compulsion to justify it to anyone. I went live earlier than scheduled that evening. My community immediately sensed a shift in me, the chat filled with inquiries and expressions of care. "You seem different tonight. Is everything all right?" I considered my usual deflection, maintaining the separation of my personal life. But something had fundamentally altered within me. I made a significant life decision today. I informed my audience. I established some boundaries that were long overdue. "It feels right." Support inundated the chat. No probing questions, no demands for specifics, merely pure encouragement from thousands of individuals who had chosen to share their time with me. My true family in many respects. 3 weeks elapsed. The silence from my biological relatives was both acutely painful and profoundly healing, akin to a deep wound finally exposed to air after festering beneath a dressing. Kelly attempted contact once, demanding, rather than requesting, tuition funds. When I did not respond, she dispatched a series of increasingly irate messages, accusing me of abandoning the family. I did not engage. There was nothing left to say. Then came the notification, a small, seemingly inconsequential ping that caused my stomach to drop. An alert from my bank regarding unusual activity on the emergency account I had neglected to fully close. My parents had, somehow, gained access, withdrawing the few $100s that had accumulated from automatic transfers, leaving it empty. The conclusive confirmation that my decision had been correct. I closed the account permanently, severing the final financial tie. My mother called from an unrecognized number that evening. I nearly didn't answer. Something, however, compelled me to pick up. "Henry, please don't hang up." Her voice sounded small, fragile, in a way I had never before heard. "I'm listening." A pause. "We require your assistance. Your father, he is too proud to ask, but circumstances are difficult right now." My heart ached despite everything. This was my mother, the woman who had read me bedtime stories, who had bandaged my scraped knees, and who had also passively observed as my father diminished me for years. "I am sorry to learn of your difficulties," I said cautiously, "but I am no longer in a position to help. But we are family." The same refrain, the same expectation. Family respects each other, supports each other's choices, and does not mock each other publicly for entertainment.
She sighed.
That video was a lapse in judgment. Kelly understands that now. Has she removed it? Another pause. Well, no, but then it was not a mistake. It was a choice, one with consequences. "Henry, please, we are struggling here. We need you." The words I had yearned to hear for years, an acknowledgement of my significance, yet it came attached solely to what I could provide, not to who I was. "I am sorry, Mom. I truly am, but I cannot continue this anymore." Her voice hardened slightly, the fragility vanishing. "So, that is it? Years of familial bonds discarded over one insignificant video." It was not the video. It was what the video exposed, what it affirmed about how you all perceive me. That's not fair. Neither was exploiting me as an ATM while ridiculing the very work that financed your lifestyle. The silence stretched between us, a chasm too vast to bridge with pleasantries. "I will always be your son," I said finally, "but the financial support is permanently over." I heard her sharp intake of breath. "Your father was right. That internet fame has altered you." "No. It revealed my worth when my own family could not." I ended the call, gently placed the phone down, and awaited the descent of crushing guilt. It did not materialize. 6 months passed. Seasons shifted. My career flourished further. A major platform secured me for an exclusive deal worth more than I had ever conceived possible. The irony was not lost on me. The not-a-real job had rendered me financially secure for life. I acquired a house, adopted a dog, and built a life that was authentically mine. The family-shaped void, of course, persisted. Certain moments triggered the pang of absence, holidays, birthdays, random Tuesday evenings when a memory would surface unexpectedly. But the wound was mending, slowly, cleanly, without the infection of resentment that had poisoned it for so long. Kelly reached out once more, a surprisingly humble message that acknowledged her role in the fracture, not quite an apology, but closer than I had anticipated. "I miss my brother," she wrote. "The video was foolish and cruel. I was envious of your success and sought Dad's approval. I'm sorry." I responded thoughtfully, thanked her for making contact, and suggested we might share coffee sometime, with no promises of financial support, no return to the old dynamic. A cautious first step towards something new, something healthier. My parents remained silent, perhaps too proud, perhaps simply incapable of adapting to the new reality where their son was not their personal funding source. I discovered I could live without uncertainty. Their absence wounded less than their presence once had. The most unexpected transformation occurred within myself. The relentless craving for validation from them, from audiences, from anyone, had significantly receded. I streamed because I enjoyed it, connected with my community because they mattered to me, created content because it creatively fulfilled me, not to validate my worth to a father who would never truly see it. 1 year to the day after severing ties, I received a small parcel. No return address, but postmarked from my hometown. Inside, a thumb drive and a note in my mother's handwriting. "I thought you should have this. I'm sorry it took me so long to understand." The drive contained a single video file. My hands trembled slightly as I clicked play. My father sat alone at the kitchen table, looking older, somehow diminished. "I don't know if you'll ever see this," he began, his voice rough. "Your mother believes I should record it. Perhaps, someday, you might be willing to listen to me." He cleared his throat, then looked directly into the camera with an intensity that tightened my chest. "I was wrong about you, Henry. Wrong about your career. Wrong about many things." He ran a hand through his thinning hair, a gesture so familiar it made my heart ache. "The truth is, I never comprehended what you were building. I was envious, if I'm being honest. Envious that you discovered success doing something you loved, while I spent 40 years at a job I detested." His eyes glistened, something I had never witnessed before. "I took it out on you. Made you feel insignificant because I felt insignificant. Exploited your success while disparaging how you achieved it. It was unjust. Cruel even." He swallowed hard. "I'm not requesting your money, or even your forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that I was wrong and I'm sorry." The video ended. No dramatic conclusion, no sweeping music, just my father's face, vulnerable in a way I had never before seen. I sat in the stillness of my home office, the same room where I had first viewed the video that ended our relationship, now watching another that might possibly begin a process of healing. Not erasing the past, not pretending the hurt never happened, but acknowledging it, naming it, taking responsibility. I did not respond immediately. Some wounds require time, even after an apology is offered. But I saved his video, and for the first time in a year, I allowed myself to recall the positive moments too. Fishing trips when I was young, the proud smile when I graduated high school, small kindnesses buried beneath years of criticism. Not enough to obliterate the pain, but enough to consider that people, even parents, can evolve, can recognize their failings, can change. I do not know if we will ever fully mend what was broken. Some fractures leave permanent marks. But sitting here now, a year and a half after that devastating morning, I comprehend something I could not grasp then. Severing ties was not about retribution. It was about valuing myself sufficiently to demand respect. Sometimes, the greatest act of love for yourself and for others is to establish boundaries that cannot be transgressed, to declare, "This is where I end and you begin. This is what I will accept and what I will not." My career continues to thrive, my community expands, the life I have forged feels increasingly solid beneath my feet. And if someday that life encompasses some iteration of my family, one that respects who I am rather than what I can supply, I might be open to it. But I will never again diminish myself to conform to someone else's expectations. Never again will I fund my own disparagement. That previous version of Henry is gone. In his stead stands someone stronger, someone who finally understands that a true family, whether bound by blood or by choice, uplifts you rather than tears you down. And that is a lesson worth every painful moment it took to learn.